Good morning, Almond Acres Charter Academy. How are you today on this beautiful rainy day? It just makes my heart warm and happy because hallelujah, there's rain. I live in the country, so the dust is down. It's just beautiful. I'd much rather find a way to stay warm than try to find a way to get cold. So I love the fall. I'm joined this morning by our new director, Dr. Joe Ledoux. And we're going to do our shared start together this morning. So I'll walk through our normal routine in the morning, go through the calendar and what the kids are hearing at shared start. And then I have a few questions for Dr. Ledoux for an opportunity for him to introduce himself to you to get to know him. And as always, you chime in if you have a question or a comment. I'll do my best to monitor the screen and respond to any questions you might have as we do this live. Otherwise, it'll be there for you to watch later, and you can always message us through Parent Square if you have any other questions. All right, so let's get started. Dr. DeLu, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So excited to be with our Almond Acres community this morning.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at the calendar. That's always our first job. Let me switch screens for you. And look at the September calendar. There's a couple more things on the calendar that should be made note. Number one, this week, well, actually it's kind of Monday for everybody, isn't it? Because the kids had a day off yesterday. But this week on Thursday, we have the Great Shakeout, which for us will be an earthquake drill. And as you, I hope, are familiar, we do a drill every month, whether it's fire, earthquake, shelter in place, or a lockdown or intruder drill. So this Thursday is the Shakeout. And then moving on in the calendar, I'll talk more about the shakeout in just a minute. But next week is our monthly board meeting, the fourth Wednesday of each month. So you're welcome to chime into that. The following week, the last week of October, we have, I think it must be a makeup picture day.
It is.
Thank you. I'm assuming because I think I got my mugshot taken a couple weeks ago. And then Friday, 31st, probably the kids' most favorite day of the year, but that's Halloween. So stay tuned to those things. Look at the Parent Square that Aaron puts out, and you can get all the details on each of those. But let me share just another note about the shakeout. Again, we have 4 different emergency situations that we prepare for, and we do that monthly. So we have some kind of a drill once a month. Fire is most common, so we do that more often. But in an earthquake drill, and there have been quite a few earthquakes around the world lately, so teaching kids how to respond to an earthquake is essential. And let me just go through with you what we tell the kids. Number one, if any emergency occurs, whether we hear it on a siren, we hear it over the loudspeaker, we feel it as an earthquake, our first response as a student is to look at the teacher, look at the adult to get good direction and stay calm. So once that's happened, then direction will go forward. The teacher or the staff member will give the students direction as to what to do. In the case of an earthquake, we're going to feel the earthquake, and the teacher is going to announce drop, cover, and hold. The hold is the one that kids typically don't remember, or adults don't remember, because we used to say, I think, just drop and cover. But once they cover underneath a desk, we want to hold on to the desk. Because if it's a substantial earthquake, they need to hold on to something because that something is going to move. And it may just wander itself away from their head. So holding on to that something is important. And a final note on that. When this school was constructed, it's probably the safest school, safest building maybe to date in our town, just by the way it was constructed in modern ways. Our safety system with hallways and lighting and video, all of those things really make our campus extremely safe. So that's our shakeout coming up this Thursday. You might have a discussion with your student and maybe bring that to home. What would happen if you have an earthquake at home? And just go through that process, how you would take care of your family when you're at home if there's an earthquake. All right, moving forward. That's a great shakeout. It just skipped me into that. Pardon me while I jump to this slide. There we go. Again, one more review. We're hitting the last quadrant this week of our 4-quadrant kite, heart, mind, body, and soul. And as a quick review, because you have your son or daughter's kite, you have an image of how they think, how they are smart. Not how smart they are, but how they're smart. So reviewing this and understanding these 4 colors, these 4 quadrants, is really essential to our school. I mean, we've painted the colors everywhere, from our shirts to our walls to our doors on our gym. So it's essential that we have some understanding of what these 4 areas mean. So I'm going to roll through them again one more time this week. Heart is people smart. It's plant and animal smart. So it's those 2 intelligences, interpersonal and naturalist. And the key question to somebody that's really blue, really strong heart, is who? Who am I working with? Even who is that animal in terms of relationship? In the mind area, it's linguistic and logical mathematical. That's our academic smarts. It's how we think in terms of what we want to understand, what we want to study, what we want to use our intellect for. And the key questions there are what and when. So what is this, and when did it happen, and etc. So key questions to mind, what and when. Body, kinesthetic and visual spatial. This is our sleep, diet, exercise. It's our hobbies. And the key questions are where and how. So a student that's very body oriented is usually a mover. They've got to learn by doing. They've got to draw. They have to move. They have to express their understanding physically some way. And then finally, the area of study this week is the soul. And that's the intrapersonal intelligence. It's what I think about my own thinking. It's what I think about who I am. What's my purpose in life? Who am I as a person? We're all unique. We know that very clearly. Biologically, neurologically, we are so unique. Even identical twins, remember, have different thumbprints. So we are each designed in our own way, and trying to understand who I am is going to help me to be the best version of myself. And the key question there, I think, is probably the most profound, is why? It's a great question. So that's, again, a quick review of the 8 intelligences and the heart, mind, body, soul model that we use here at the school. So examine your child's kite and you'll understand the direction from which they think. So in this case, this dominant red kite, this child is going to think first from the body, then to the soul, then to the heart, and then to the mind. Well, what if you're a dominant mind thinker? Guess what? You're going to be at odds because you're trying to answer the what and when question, and your student, your child, is trying to answer the where and how question. So accompany them. Go to their corner and accompany them out of their corner if they need to learn something new that's important there. All right, that's a lot said, but this is why we're here, is trying to honor the whole student, heart, mind, body, and soul, and to grow these intelligences out of our kids. All right, have a terrific day. What does terrific mean? Trustworthy, respectful, responsible, fair, and caring. And let's talk to Dr. Ledoux now. Let me change my screen. I can move my mouse. All right, here we go. All right, so I have a few questions for Dr. Ledoux, and you could probably guess what they might be. And we're going to start with why AACA. So we're grateful that you are here, especially at this time of the school year, trying to get somebody enthusiastic and prepared to operate a charter school is so critical to us. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that you're here. So thank you, but why?
Right. Great question, Bob. I think I was drawn to the AACA model. First, heart, mind, body, soul speaks to me. I definitely believe in students and myself setting personal goals and attaining them, and then celebrating those goals. I think we can all do that in life if we have a vision, if we have a North Star. And I think that the 8 intelligences that we talk about with Howard Gardner definitely helps us and the kite thinking about who we are as people, and know oneself, right? You definitely need to know oneself. You need to do that self-reflection, and that's a big part of Almond Acres. And what really drew me here was our students are mindful of where they're at, where they want to go. They set up personal goals. It brought tears to my eyes when I heard that our I think it's our 4th and 5th grade students do student-led conferences, and that they bring their parents in. They share their work with them. They share authentically how they're doing, and they are more nervous to share with their parents than they are with their teacher. And it just the powerful growth from that self-reflection. Anyways, that was a tangent, but those are some of the things.
And what a great thing as a parent. Here again, the synergy between the school and the home. If our kids are nervous about talking to us as parents about important things in life, but we provide an environment and an opportunity to have that discussion, that's only going to make your discussions at home that much more powerful, because all of a sudden you built trust. And that student will say, I can talk to my mom or dad about this because I did it in our conference. I talked about things that were difficult. So what a cool thing. I never thought about it that way, that our conferences are really a way to directly connect to home and build communication skills at home.
It's that
Thanks for that.
partnership. It's that parent partnership. It's so key, right?
Yeah. Okay, ready for the next one?
I am.
Which one is it? It is. Who is Dr. Ledoux? Heart, mind, body, and soul.
Sure.
So I'm going to walk him through these 4 quadrants again, just like we just did. But thinking about who is he as a person, and he gets to share whatever he wants to. He doesn't have to share things. But I think to get to know each other is how we build trust. So knowing each other's personality and how we're smart and what we love is absolutely the finest way to build trust. So let's start with the heart, and to what degree you may share your family.
Sure. So I'm a native of the Central Coast. We'll go back to the beginning. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz until I was 11. Then my mom got a job at Atascadero News as a journalist. And so we moved down to the Central Coast. And I went through schooling in Atascadero Unified. I went to Lewis Avenue Elementary. That isn't there anymore. It's now the Fine Arts Academy. I went to Atascadero Junior High. And I graduated from Atascadero High School before moving on to Cuesta. So
if he says go Greyhounds,
Yeah.
don't take offense.
You're right. That was a long time ago.
He's in Bearcat country.
Yeah. That was back in the 90s, in the friendly rivalry between the Bearcats and the Greyhounds. I have been married 22 years. Been with my wife 28 years. We have 2 beautiful children. My son is a second year at Cal Poly, studying political science, because he likes to argue, so he wants to be a lawyer.
He's a why guy.
Yes.
Right? That's that green intelligence. Why?
Always
it turns into
question.
lawyers. I have the same son.
Yes. The funny part is Mr. Burgo has a lawyer son named Ben,
right?
and that is my son. His name is Ben as well at Cal Poly.
What a coincidence.
And then, very coincidental. And then I have a daughter who is a junior at Aurora Grande High School, plays water polo. And so when I'm not working, and I've been working a lot lately, being here at Almond Acres, I like to spend time with my family and with my black lab, Juno, who's 5 years old, and she likes to fetch.
Juno. Is that an
Juno.
Alaskan
It's
husky?
not. No.
She's black lab.
She's black lab, but she's a rescue from Santa Maria. She's a mix, probably of a shepherd, but she definitely likes. She's a retriever.
Good.
Yeah.
So there's the interpersonal life as well as his naturalist life. That in naturalist intelligence is plants and animals. What's your favorite hobby?
Oh, I shared this a little bit on my Instagram video with Miss Van Meter last week, but I like to go golfing. So it's always something that's, it kind of aligns a lot with what we do here at Almond Acres. It is very reflective. You're always constantly working on something. You're never arrive. You're always learning to do something different. So in my spare time, if I'm not hanging out with my family, going to water polo games, I definitely like to golf.
I know. What a peaceful thing to do.
It is.
My Ben is also a golfer, and that's how he gets away from the head stuff,
Exactly.
the why stuff. Very good. All right, let's move on to our next question. What is your vision for our school in the near and in the distant future? So, what do you hope for this year for our school, and then what do you see moving down the line?
Well, I think definitely coming in mid-year is a challenge, but I've hit the ground running. I definitely think this year we have a lot going on. We're in transition a little bit this year in some of our programs, but definitely continue the good work that you've done over. It's hard to believe the last 15 years. Coming in new to any school, I'm gonna listen to the stakeholders, and I will be setting up a future meeting, meet the executive director, probably coming in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Sorry, we have some kids outside. We are in
at
a school. Some kids are going on a field trip today on a rainy day, but it's gonna be terrific. So building upon the successes, we have a lot of new staff and getting them to learn, or helping them to learn, I should say, the vision of the school. Yesterday, you guys had the day off on October 13th, but I was with our staff and we were doing trainings and we were going back to the why. And that's probably one of the next one, which would be mine, is Simon Sinek, why? Why do you come to work every day? Why do you come to Almond Acres? What draws you to the mission? So we did a lot of self-reflecting on that, and did a lot of. I heard from a lot of teachers, their why is the kids. They like to come here. They like to be with your kids. They like to encourage your kids. They like to celebrate their successes. They like to challenge your kids in a positive way. But we all got into this gig because we love kids, right?
Well, you know, in terms of the kite, you saw a kite on my screen a little bit ago that was dominant green and red. The dominant educator kite is blue and yellow. It's who am I taking care of? I'm interpersonally relating. I'm interpersonally intelligent. So they have a dominant blue kite, and then the yellow is, well, what do I get to teach them, and when do we get to do this? So we're answering those linguistic and logical mathematical questions. So the dominance in educators is predominant. It's interesting to see how many educators are blue and yellow. Thank goodness we do have a good variety of red and green kited educators here too to balance this all out. But it's fascinating. Our most reluctant learners are often green and red thinkers. They want to know why, and if they don't have a good why, then why should I do it? Or where and how can I do it differently? It's the creative part of our mind to think from a body perspective. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So you just covered
I covered
the heart, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to mind.
Yes.
So mind academically, what did you study in school maybe? What's your passion now in terms of study?
Sure. So kind of my leadership vision that I went over with the staff yesterday is definitely, I was a history major. So I really like to get in there, and that's my intrapersonal skills, is I like to get in there and really learn about why. Going back to our strengths, why the tenets of Almond Acres, how it was founded, what our history has been, what are our strengths. So I'm just always been a history guy. Mr. Burgo went to UCLA and I went to UCSB, and we just gave a high five
because we're still friends.
Yes, because we're definitely history majors at the University of California, so we have that in common. Going back to the mind and the academic passion, I'm just going to go back to earlier in our conversation, the goal setting, the student-led conferences, the self-reflection. I think, maybe in our society, if we had more self-reflection, but we can start with our locus of control, and we can start with ourselves. And then as teachers and educators, we can positively influence our students to be more self-reflective and goal-setting.
What a powerful parenting tip too. Moms and dads, grandparents, ask questions more than give answers. Does that make sense? It's so much more powerful to a person's mind when they're trying to come up with an answer than to be given an answer. So to ask those questions that are around our kite, help me understand why, or where might you do that, or how might you do that differently, or with whom might you do that? When you ask those questions, you cause their brain to do the thinking as opposed to just giving them an answer. So that self-reflection can be encouraged, promoted, and developed by us as adults asking questions. We're so quick to give answers. But if we want our kids to grow their brains and be intelligent in their 8 ways, we've got to ask questions and minimize the answers.
I think what Bob is alluding to is that's coaching, right? A lot of teachers are also coaches. Where you ask those big open-ended questions, and parents, this is something that I've learned over the years, and maybe you can incorporate, is wait time. We ask a big question, and we need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable silence, and then maybe ask some follow-up questions with our kids, because our goal is to build independent thinkers and not have them dependent on us for all of their learning and their answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our job is to get ourselves out of the job.
Yes.
And we get 18 years to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Exactly.
it does extend, but it's very different. Most of my children now are, 18 to 38 are my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
I think we covered the body, which was...
Yeah, we did.
We did.
So soul.
Mm-hmm.
The question there is why, and we talked about why ACA, but what do you see, for yourself as kind of purpose in life and purpose here as the director?
Great question. One is definitely I believe in servant leadership. It's the inverse of the pyramid. I'm on the bottom, supporting everybody, not on the top, barking out orders. And I've always felt that teaching is a little bit like the Peace Corps. It's the toughest job you'll ever love. And so to me, not to get really heady, but I think that people are called to teaching or they're not. They're called to giving back to others, to guiding. And for me, to boil it all the way down to my core, I went to 5 different elementary schools. I shared this yesterday in our professional development with our teachers. So the stability and the rock in my life was education. And so when I got done with college, I thought about what I wanted to do next, and I was really drawn to giving back everything that I felt that I had been given over the years.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
We're still in soul. So
Yeah.
the fun part of that is music.
Yes.
What's your favorite, country or Western?
Oh, now you're going to pigeonhole me. To be evasive on my answer, I like all music, whether it's, I like old country too, right? Beyond Hank Williams, we're talking like
Nice.
early 90s, like Garth Brooks and Chris Ledoux, who's a rodeo star turned country singer. I like some modern country, but I like all music. There's nothing better on a stressful day than putting on some smooth jazz or some classical music and just, rejuvenating. But then, in the morning when you want to get up, maybe there's some more aggressive, energetic music. And then I got to go with Jack Johnson, who was at UCSB in the 90s when I was there. We did not know each other. He's been very successful as well. But just for me, music is... it's amazing. Melodies. A lot of the kids, when they are working on something memorization, they'll put it to a song, and that helps them remember. And I'm sure there's a lot of neuroscience behind it, but it just, being tactile and remembering things through music. It just seems to, there's very old people that still remember things when they hear a song.
Yeah, absolutely. You can hear a song from our youth, and boom, you're back there immediately. You remember that, what was going on, and the feelings that went with it.
Or the first song at your wedding.
Yeah.
Or, being in the car with your kids coming to school. And, even Raffi songs like, the children's rhymes.
Baby Beluga.
Baby Beluga in the deep blue sea. Yes.
Sorry, parents, you may not be familiar. Actually, he's still out there. My daughter is playing that music to my grandkids. So yeah, he's still out there. Very good. Thank you. That I just realized what we just did here is just a wonderful conversation to get to know somebody. I would encourage us to do it with our kids, to kind of just go around the block. How's your week? How's your day? Let's look at it heart, mind, body, and soul. Because when we do, we're getting the whole picture. We are human beings, heart, mind, body, and soul. We're not one. Just because we are slanted toward one, and there's one corner color that we prefer because that's where we're smartest, that doesn't describe us completely. And we get into kind of an intimate conversation when we go to areas that are difficult. So I would encourage you, take a trip around the block with your kids often and just get to know what's going on with their week.
One question that I've really found unlocks kids is just asking them simply, what are you proud of?
Yeah,
Don't give an answer. Let
Yeah,
them
there you
know,
go.
what are you proud of?
Yeah.
Because it gets them thinking.
It does.
Mhm.
And they're probably going to slant that right toward their strongest intelligence,
Mhm.
because that's where they're joyful, they're successful, because it's how they are smart. It's not how smart they are.
Mhm.
It's how they're smart. And when you talk to me about things that I'm smart about, wow, you're just gonna there's joy.
Mhm.
And when we develop those intelligences, we grow that child's brain,
Mhm.
we affirm, stretch, and celebrate it.
Mhm.
Wow, that's growing a great kid.
Mhm.
Super.
Mhm.
Thank you. That was really fun. I
Of course.
appreciate getting to know you a little bit better and to have the families get to know you. If there was maybe a question you might
Mhm.
ask the parents,
Mm.
what might that be? And you could, if you want to, you could answer it to the Parent Square message or even to
Mhm.
the chat here, whatever you'd like.
Sure. I think I'm going to go back to the question that I asked all of our teachers yesterday and our certificated staff, the why. Why do you come to Almond Acres? What are you proud of? And I would like to really approach it from a positive standpoint, because everybody knows, I think in Paso, in the larger North County, and in San Luis Obispo County, what a special place this is. And I've been meeting one-on-one with staff members, and that is my first question. Why Almond Acres, and what are you proud of? And that gives us our foundation to build off of.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And it generates really positive neurons. There goes that brain work. When you think about what's good and true and beautiful, you're gonna act more that way. You're gonna
Bob, can I
think more that
just say
way.
one more thing? Is I really, in my core, going down to my foundational beliefs, I think you can never go wrong with an attitude of gratitude. So every day I'm thankful. I start the day, I'm thankful for what I have, not what I don't have, but what I have. So I would encourage all of our students, and as I work with them and our staff members, attitude of gratitude. It releases those internal feelings of just happiness, right? Not pheromones in your brain, neurons, neurotransmitters. But when you go running and you endorphins. Thank you. We got there together. Yes, positive.
Our
endorphins.
brain was spinning.
Yes,
we were synapsing.
Exactly. But those positive,
Yeah.
endorphins.
Yeah, really, it's such a key. Again, look at that kite idea. Go to their joy. Go to what they're happy about. They feel good about, and then let it grow. And if we drag somebody into a corner they don't want to be in, they're not going to play. So, yeah, great conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we might do this once a month.
I would love
Be kind
that.
of fun.
Yes.
And allow parents to ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah, we could start our own podcast or show. It'd be called Bob and Joe.
Bob and Joe Show.
Bob and Joe Show. I love it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have just a wonderful day. Enjoy this weather. And just reminders what's going on Thursday, the shakeout, picture day coming up, board meeting coming up. Peace. Have a happy day. Be terrific.
Perfect. That was fun.
Yeah, it is. It's so much more fun to talk to somebody than to try to do this by myself.
Let's just get the link to Aaron.